Alright, today we are back with another shotgun shootout. Now this time it will be my reigning champ, my good old Audio-Technica AT875R, and it will be pitted against the Senal MC24ES. So stick around. Now, who doesn't like a good shotgun shootout? The last time, if you haven't watched that video, you might want to go back and watch it, but I had pitted the Audio-Technica AT875R up against the Saramonic SR NV5, and the results of that one I thought were pretty staggering, and so the Audio-Technica came out as the reigning champ of that one. So this time, we're going to pit it against the Senal MC24ES. Again, all of those mics are in the same range. The Senal is probably closer in price range, and they're all the same size. Now, if you watch my last video of the last review with the Saramonic, I was kind of struck by the light weight of the Saramonic, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So, not that I correlate in any way weight with quality or good sound or anything to that effect. I just thought it was kind of interesting. The Saramonic weighed 55 grams. The Audio-Technica weighed 83. Now, what was interesting about this guy, the Senal, is that it weighed 103 grams. That's 20 full grams higher than the Audio-Technica. So again, does weight mean anything there? So let's get into it. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer, guys. Right now, I'm not using any external microphones. I'm simply relying on the onboard audio from the Sony a6100, and the reason I do that is I have several reasons. One being that, I like to compare units that I'm reviewing and or comparing against the onboard audio, because a lot of people that are looking at these videos, they come here looking for the very fact of finding something to improve their camera audio. So I like to show them and compare the items against the onboard audio. So there is a method for me not using any kind of audio enhancement going into this, because I want to make sure that people are hearing not only the improvement, but having not colored their ears going into it. I like to see them have that improvement, when it hits. And so, also in the event that I don't want to use my best microphones for a good preface video, in the event that they're better than the items that I'm reviewing. So anyway, that's the method behind it. And so hang on, we'll get into this. All right, guys, here it is. Just fresh off the delivery truck, the Senal MC24ES. And I think that this is going to be my first experience with it. I don't typically do unboxings, but, I guess we both get the same experience. So you get the documentation, pretty sparse, fairly nice pleather pouch branded with it. Inside the box, you get a silica gel packet, keep things dry. You get the microphone, you get a foam windscreen, and you get a mic clip, and it does contain the 5/8 to 3/8 adapter for the mic clip. Apart from that, there's no dead cat, no cables, no other audio adapters. Those are the only items in the box. Mic, foam windscreen, mic clip, and stand adapter. Looking at the microphone itself, the microphone does have a high-pass filter on it. I haven't read the specs. I don't know exactly what frequency the roll-off is there, or how much, but that's kind of interesting. The finish, the build, it is very heavy. That's when I pulled this out of the package earlier, and that was the first thing that struck me, much like when I pulled the Saramonic out of the package and how lightweight that was. This is just the opposite, far heavier than I'm used to handling with the Audio-Technica. But the build quality seems very good. Definitely the weight gives it a solid feel. Part of that weight is in the circuitry for the high pass, possibly. The switch is kind of recessed. You're not going to move it by accident. Once it's set, I think it's going to be set. The finish on it is interesting. It does look good. It's a matted finish, very matte, very dull. Almost like a ruggedized kind of coating. It's kind of interesting. Very, very interesting. But yeah, great looking mic. I can't wait to hear it. So I'm going to plug this in. Again, we are going to be comparing apples to apples as I did in the last video. This is going to be plugged directly into my Zoom L8 mixer with the gains at 12 o'clock. Now, when I compare the Audio-Technica with the Senal, I may boost the levels in post. I'm not going to color it at all or clean it up in any way, but I may boost the levels. And the reason being that I don't want people equating the possible, lack of volume of one mic over the other with it in any way implying a better or worse sound or anything else. So that may be the only thing that I do to it. But so anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into some sound sample comparisons, and we'll come up just after this. You are now listening to the Senal MC24ES. The Senal retails for approximately $150 and is available on several retailers. We are testing the audio quality of the Senal MC24 against the audio quality of the Audio-Technica AT875. Now, let's switch over to the Audio-Technica AT875R. You're now listening to the audio quality of the Audio-Technica AT875R. The Audio-Technica sells for about $169 retail, but can be found on several retailers for less. The Audio-Technica is being compared against the Senal MC24ES. Now, let's switch back to the Senal. You're now listening to the Senal MC24ES. The Senal retails for about $150 US and can be found on several retailers. It is currently on sale for about $99 on B&H Photo. Now, let's switch back to the Audio-Technica. The Audio-Technica AT875R is being compared against the Senal MC24. The Audio-Technica can be found for about $169 at most retailers, but can also be found for less on other retail channels, going down to about $120. The Audio-Technica is being compared against the Senal MC24ES. Well, there you have it. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe. Going to have a lot of equipment being reviewed coming up. But yeah, let's start a discussion. What do you guys think of the Senal? If you have a chance to go back and look at the other video on the Ceremonic, you can compare the sound samples there. My own personal opinion is that the Senal weighed in pretty well. It does have a high pass filter on it, but I didn't enable that, and yet I felt that the low end was probably a little lacking on it. That was just my initial impression. Now, of course, I've only done these couple of sound samples and listened back to them, but my immediate impression right now is that I think that the Audio-Technica, the AT875, seems to be the reigning champion, but like I said, I've just had a very brief experience with it, listening back to the sound samples, and I'd like to know your opinions on it. So anyway, leave some comments and let me know, all right? I'll talk to you guys later.